From National College of Arts, Lahore, Zahra Ebrahim's labor of love is her furniture design business. The transition from architecture to furniture design came naturally to her since she had been trained to think and imagine in 3 dimensions. Furniture design allowed her to work on smaller scale and have more control over the entire process, from conception to the finished product. Once Zahra began working on furniture, she knew that this was her true calling and there was no turning back. Starting with a modest workshop in her garage with a single carpenter, Zahra Ebrahim's business came a long way since 2007. She now has a team of 60 dedicated workers and a custom-built workshop located in the Korangi Industrial Area. Zahra, please come on stage for your presentation.
Thank you for the introduction. And hello. So, I moved to Karachi in 2001 and started working as an architect at my father's firm. Soon after, I got married and with that became more aware of homes and their interiors. The first thing that hit me about the new homes I designed or visited was that often the furniture inside looked like it belonged somewhere else. Furniture in these new homes was often inspired by European designs or was factory-built, modern, often soulless, or heavily carved, very traditional pieces. I felt there was a disconnect between these, the user, and the space. It was this need to make something that belonged which led to the design style that I and my team have tried to create and hone over the years. Next slide. The world that NCA had exposed me to, with its wonderful mix of cultural backgrounds, inspirational teachers, and overlapping art, design, and architectural curriculum, had me invested deeply into a very local, homegrown world of craftsmanship, design, and possibility. I started to explore the city of Karachi the way I once had Lahore in my college days. I met and made friends with many artisans as I discovered the magic within Pan Mandi, Sarafa Bazaar, Manzoor Colony, Khara Dar, Hawks Bay, Zainab Market, Golimar, Haji Camp, and the pottery makers in Hala. Our design philosophy. We pay close attention to how we experience and interact with objects and spaces. For us, good design is where one can be truly his or her authentic self, or at least find a glimmer of one's own light. This not only means the tangible This not only means the tangible experience of using a piece, but how it stirs your soul. The focus of our practice is to explore materiality and implement it throughout our process. Our journey is that of collaborations, where design and craftsmanship come together. We celebrate age-old craft practices by reimagining them in scale, function, form, and concept. The final designs are often not our designs alone, but collaborations with craftsmen and the material we use. However, we are careful about respecting the innovative spirit and initiative of the craftsman, so he or she does not feel like an industrial worker. Thank you. Having a workshop like the one we are blessed with and the amazing team that I and Ruben work with allows that sort of constant dialogue and experimentation. But before making my foray into furniture, I was trained and worked as an architect. For me, this switch felt completely natural. The driving force, like in any design practice, arises from empathy, the quest to match a human need with available resources. For us, it goes further than our empathy for the user. I think good design is also ethical design. So empathy for the material we use and the karigars who make the product has always been very important to me and my team. The practice of furniture design, like architecture, involves turning ideas drawn on paper into physical works. From thinking in 3D, designing on the drawing board, to prototyping, the process is similar, and my architectural training has me prepared well. Furniture design, in many ways, is architecture on a smaller scale. With similar merging of material, structure, and aesthetic, I use the same principles I learned as an architect when I'm designing furniture. Unlike architecture, the practice of furniture design allows a much more hands-on approach with greater flexibility and quicker results. The process is much more forgiving, and it makes me feel brave and in control. Interaction with furniture is more intimate and tactile and much easier to explore. For me, the most exciting aspect of this practice is the opportunity it provides for craft to merge with a discipline. I love that layering and the possibilities and the artistic exploration that it allows. This line, I think the line isn't coming. This line has been at the back of my mind since the beginning of my practice. And this very idea has been reiterated in different ways at different points of my journey. When we met the interior design team for the Islamabad International Airport and started brainstorming for the furniture of the state lounges, the words the principal architect said were, "Make something that says unapologetically that this is modern-day Pakistan and this is our design." The design brief, therefore, was very close to what our design ideology is, and we felt very lucky to have been entrusted with this opportunity. On a side note, our workers love sharing screenshots from the news and social media of their favorite cricketers on our furniture at the Islamabad airport. Clients often tell us that our pieces make them feel proud of their identity. Lebanese designer Nada Debs aptly refers to craft as not only an archive of a civilization's emotions, but a nation's living history. Through the act of design, we, in a small way, are creating a narrative that celebrates our heritage and indigenous craft. The furniture for the Pakistan Pavilion at the Dubai Expo gave us the chance to rethink who we aspire to be and how we want the world to see us. We felt so privileged to have been entrusted to do the furniture for this inspiring project, where the most talented and passionate forces in Pakistani art and design came together to put our country's best foot forward and develop a new perspective for people to see Pakistan in a different yet authentic light. Calligraphy and brass inlay are a big part of our signature style. My love affair with this medium started with our khat table. Back in 2009, On a trip to Skardu, I was most fascinated by the tall eucalyptus trees and the setting sun behind them. Like in architecture, I decided to break this down into simple forms. The proud alifs reminded me of the straight tree trunks and the nuktas like the eternal sun. As I started sketching, the lines of my favorite poem by Shah Niaz came to my mind. While designing tables, I know that the top often gets lost because we tend to keep things on it. It is the sides which are always most visible. That is where the calligraphy should be. Usman traces the words on the table and carves out the pattern by creating grooves. The same words are traced on brass sheet and cut on the chapakka machine by Sultan. These are then carefully inlaid into the grooves and hammered into position by hand. It is later sanded down for a completely smooth, even finish. Our pieces are crafted with love, and immense attention is paid to the wood we use and our finish. Let me walk you through some of our designs. Copper diyas made by artisans in Pan Mandi are welded onto a rod to make a removable contraption to serve as a dip container in this wonderful chip and dip platter. Colorful kantha embroidered wraps made by women artisans from recycling fabric and reinforcing it through running stitch are stretched over the seat. These stools are inspired by the local pug headdress. No two stools are the same because each piece of kantha is unique. The legs are made by turning shisham wood on a lathe. Designed in collaboration with architects Bilal Kapatia and Anam Khatak of Coalesce Design Studio for the interior of a fashion house, a swing is a statement piece, to say the least. Master craftsman Faisal from Chinyot carved the lotus and peacock forms in shisham wood, which are inserted within the hanging rods. With the cane detail and gorgeous fabric palette, this swing marries old world charm with contemporary design. Made essentially by recycling waste wood and polished in a way to enhance the difference in each member making the face of this credenza, our Banjara credenza has been skillfully crafted by carpenter Abdur Rahman. Each piece is different depending on the width of the waste wood available. Do notice that the inside lining is Sindhi Rilli. The original lightweight fiberglass planter was developed by our designer Ruben with Nahid Mashukula Studio for the Pakistan Pavilion. We love the rattan work Hamid has weaved on these beauties and the variation in the shapes that have been developed since. This table was designed for the State Lounge at Islamabad International Airport in collaboration with architect Mehboob Khan of ARCOP. Based on the geometry of the five-pointed star, the lines forming the geometric pattern are inlaid by carpenter Rahil. Those lines continue along the wooden planes of the table to transform into its legs. This subtle transformation of surface pattern into structure is the essence of this design. A celebration of the gorgeous embroidery traditions from Central Asia, the embroidered backs of these chairs have been created in collaboration with women artisans from southern Punjab under the umbrella of Indus Heritage Trust. Here is a glimpse of a typical day at our workshop. So over these amazing 17 years, I've just trusted doing my work with integrity and love, and I've stayed consistent. It is hard to believe where we have come to from that tiny space within my garage that I started from.
Thank you for sharing your journey, Zahra. I would now like to call upon